Hi, my name is Tom Steffen with Goulds Water Technologies, and today I'd like to talk to you about the new advanced platform for the Aquavar IPC, or Intelligent Pump Controller. So one of the things that I want to show you with the advanced platform for the IPC is the MCO 301 card that is standard for this platform. So let's take a look at the standard card, which is on what we call the B slot. So I'm just going to pull up the keypad, remove that. I'm going to remove the cover just so we can take a look. So this is the MCO 301 card that is standard. We can see here option B, and that's what's called the B slot. And the optional card would be on the A slot. So one feature that is very beneficial with the new card is additional multi-pump features. One is synchronous and the other is a true multi-master, multi-control, and much easier wiring. This will allow us to operate up to 4 pumps in multi-control. So we talked about the B slot, which is standard for the advanced platform, and let me show you the card, the optional card, which is the A slot. So we can see here it's your wiring is done from the top side here, and it's just a different location. So if this position works better in terms of wiring, you can order the card, the drive, with the A slot card. So let's take a look at some of the wiring here for our basic duplex system. And so we're going to look at the communication cable between our 2 drives, our transducer hookup. We still need a start jumper, and then we're also going to take you through the input and the output, which doesn't change. So let's first start with the communication cable. Again, this is connected to our other drive here, and we are connecting between 5 on the MCO 301 on our drive here to the same 5 terminal on pump number 1. And we're using the white to connect to 7, and we just want to make sure that you have 5 to 5 and 7 to 7 on the other drive. Now let's move on to the transducer, and nothing changes here. So we still have white on analog input 53, and we have to power the transducer, and we're getting that from number 12 in this case. Note, we still need our start jumper between 12 and 18. If you are not supplying some other signal, then you, just like before, you have to connect a start jumper. Note one jumper that's missing with the advanced platform is the no water loss of prime restart jumper. You do not need that with the advanced platform. And the same as before, note that you have your strain reliefs here to make sure everything's neat and tidy for your wires coming in from the bottom. Let's take a look at a quick look at the input and the output, where there's no changes there. Keep in mind that we have removed some protective pieces from this drive just for demonstration only. And so we have L1, L2, and L3. What we've done here is we are bringing single phase in to the drive. The recommendation is in the field, if you have single phase, you want to order the single phase, dedicated single phase drive. In this case, we are just working with a 3-phase drive, however, bringing single phase in. So that's why our input wiring looks like it does. On the output is UVW going to the motor, and just like before, all these terminals are removable and replaceable, and underneath the L1, 2, and 3 in this small A-frame size is your ground lug. Let's start off with a initialization or factory reset. And the reason why we're going to do that here, because these are used for demonstration purposes. So let's just get everything back to the factory defaults. Now there's two ways to do that. One is turn the power off, press status, main, and OK. Those three buttons, hold those down, turn the power on, and keep those buttons pressed until you see initialization on the screen. Then you can let go. That's one way to do it. The other way to do it is through your parameters. Obviously, it has to be powered up at the time, and you go to 1420, and you can do it that way. So we're going to use the three-finger reset method in this case. So I'm going to press status, main, and OK, and hold those down until I see the word initializing. Now I can let go. So now I've just reset everything to the factory default settings. So you will not have to do this if it's a brand new unit from the factory. So one of the things that you are going to want to do is you're going to want to check rotation. So notice there that it does turn the motor slightly, so you are able to check that rotation at that point in time. And so you want to make sure that the rotation is correct. In this case, we're working with some ESVs with the guards off the couplings, so we can see the arrows on the coupling itself. So you always have to check rotation. If we find that it is going in the reverse rotation, you just want to flip two wires on the output on the motor side, and that's your U, V, and W terminals. So let's go through the smart setup here in this case. And we're starting with regional settings, North America. So you can see here I've got my arrow, which allows me to proceed. And again, just like the basic version of the IPC, you got to hit the down arrow. The down arrow also saves that setting. So whenever you make a change, you must hit the down arrow. So next we see language US. So again, for us in the US, you do not need to change that. So I'm okay with that, so I'm going to hit the down arrow. So pump type application. Booster. Yeah, so this is a booster application. So if you ever wanted to see some different options, you would press the OK to highlight it, and you would see whatever option you have. So this is a booster. We're pumping from tanks and boosting pressure. So again, hit the down arrow to save. So now you have to set up your motor information. So that we can see on the motor nameplate. And in this case, I've got 1.5 horse motor. So I'm going to hit the down arrow to 1.5 horse, hit the OK. And again, it's given me this symbol on the lower right, which is saying it's okay to proceed. Nominal voltage needs to be 230. So see 220, 230, hit the OK button, hit the down arrow. Now I'm at motor frequency, which is okay. Motor nominal speed, I need to change that to 3450. So I'm going to hit the OK button and start changing this. So you just move over to your position. So 3450, hit the OK and down arrow. So motor current, again, I've got to look at the motor nameplate for this information, and it's 4.6. So I'm going to change that to 4.6. Okay, down arrow. Okay, so current limit. Current limit is service factor amps divided by nominal amps, and if I do the math, it's about 109, 110%. All right, so there is a calculation that you need to do with current limit. Service factor amps divided by nominal amps. So I'm okay with 110. So motor types, I have a surface. The other option would be submersible. And these are important because it's changing. If I change that to submersible, it's changing parameters in the background. Right? So I have a surface motor here. Sleep speed, low limit of 30, which is where I'm going to leave that for this system, 30 hertz. So one of the things that's new with the advanced is filter type. And so what we're referring to here is the electrical output filter. And let's take a look at some of the options. Obviously, in this case, we want none because our motor lead length is less than 50 feet. So I don't need an electrical output filter. But with other pumps, certainly submersible pumps that have long motor lead lengths, you're going to need to add a filter. And you get the option here to identify what type of filter you've added. So the options here are sine wave, DVDT, and just a basic reactor. So in this case, again, no electrical filter, so I'm going to say none. Continue the application setup, yes. I want to make sure that's yes, hit the down arrow. Okay, so operating mode, changing operation mode will overwrite the current setup. So we can see here my default is single pump control. Let's take a look at some options. Single, exit of course, multi-pump control. So that's what we're going to set up here. We're going to set up a duplex. But let's just take a look at what we have. Speed control, if you want to run at a specific speed, you can set that up. Test run mode, or exit. So let's go to multi-pump control. Again, I'm going to set up a duplex. So one of the things that is new with the advanced platform is you have several different options for your multi-pump control. And we'll take a quick look at some of these: fixed speed follower, fixed speed synchronous, fixed master multi-control, multi-master synchronous, multi-master multi-control. So what we are going to show is we're going to show two different methods because there's a lot of questions on different types of ways in which to do multi-pump setup. So we're first going to start with multi-master multi-control. So I'm going to select that. So now, very important, you have to have, in this case, two different addresses. And so this is going to be pump address 1, and our other unit is going to be pump address 2. So very important. I'm going to leave this one 1 and then change the other one to 2. And we are going to operate constant pressure because we have a pressure transducer. Let's just take a quick look at what other options. Flow control, if you want to maintain a desired flow. Level control, maintain a certain level. Constant pressure, and back again. So again, we have a pressure transducer, so we want to maintain constant pressure. So pressure control units, the display does not show the units, so you have to tell it what units you want it to be in. So we want to use PSI. So ramp time. So one of the nice things about your quick setup, your smart setup, is you have some very simple options here for ramp time, and fast, medium, and slow. And if you do not know, you can start with medium, and you can always go back and change your ramp time. So your ramp time is how quickly do you want your system to react based on your demand. So if your demand changes quickly, then you probably want a fast ramp time. If your demand doesn't change very quickly, then maybe you want slow. So in this case, we are going to be operating the discharge valve fairly quickly, so let's go with fast. Now you can make additional changes in the parameters, but again, this is just the smart setup, the Genie, and it's just designed to give us a few options to get us up and running. And more than likely, you probably will not have to get into some of those additional parameters. So number of pumps, 2, got a duplex here. Number of standby, 0. Now, would you like to auto set the rest of the settings? So, auto set is really handy, and it just sets all kinds of parameters for you. And so in a simple basic system, this is a nice tool to have, and let the system, the IPC, set everything for you. So we're going to say yes. So set point. It's preset to 50, but let's just go ahead and make a change now to 30. So we can always go back and change any of these, and there's a new feature here that I'll show you how to change your set point. But let's set that to 30. And again, remember, anytime you make a change, you got to hit the down arrow to save it. So this is important because it's reminding you, you hit auto set. And this is everything that's set in the background. Constant pressure with a 300 unit or PSI transducer, which is what we have. 4 to 20 milliamp sensor, which is what we have. It's on AI53 or analog input 53, which we showed earlier. The white wire is on 53. Sleep frequency is 30 hertz. Restart difference is 10. Okay, when do you want it to wake back up again? And defaults to 10, and that's in PSI, so that's 10 PSI below your set point. No water loss of prime fault is enabled, and that's restart time of 10. Duty standby disabled. Stage speed. So now it's getting into, because we chose multi-pump, your staging and destaging. So we've got a 95% stage speed, a destage of 80. Alternation function is on runtime. So another new enhancement is you could change your alternation to runtime and to clock time. So that's another new addition to the advanced platform. All right, so we keep scrolling down. Going to hit the OK button. And Startup Genie is complete, so press OK. All right, so we can see here I'm lead pump. All right, here's my system pressure, and it defaults here. Right, so all these are defaults, and you could change any one of these parameters on your keypad. So if you don't like the default display, you can change any one of these. So we completed the programming for what we'll call the lead pump here. And so now we need to move on to the lag pump. So again, we got to go through our settings. We're in the smart setup, we're Genie. And you'll notice that it's the same system, so there's a lot of duplication here. So we got to make the same changes because we have the exact duplicate pump here. So 1.5 horse, 230 volt, frequency 60, speed 3450. Again, same current, which is 4.6. Current limit's the same, right? Service factor amps divided by nominal amps. Surface motor, sleep speed of 30, no filter, continue application setup, yes. And again, default is single, right? So we want multi-pump control. We've got a duplex. Now it's saying what type of multi-pump control do you want? So we want to match that to multi-master, multi-control, same as the lead. You want to make sure you save it. Pump address, right? So very important, I have to change this address. Lead was 1, lag is going to be 2. Constant pressure, number of pumps 2, standby 0. Auto set, yeah, we'll do an auto set. Okay, again, reminders of your auto set. So we'll scroll through those. Hit OK. Startup Genie complete. And notice that we have lag pump here. In system pressure, lag pump. And so now our wiring is complete and our programming is complete for a multi-master, multi-control duplex system. So what I did was I hit the auto on button on both and I opened up my discharge valve, and notice we can see a lead and a lag. And we see the lead pump is at 39 hertz. It is meeting our set point of 30, and our lag pump is not running right now. So let me open up the valve. We can see the lead pump ramping up. So this is part of the staging process here, and it's calling for pump 2 to come on. So notice that our lead pump is full speed, 60 hertz, and our lag is 36, 37. So that is multi-master, multi-control. Pump 1, again, a duplex, full speed. Pump 2 is varying. So that was multi-master, multi-control. Very quick overview of that. Now let's put these units into Synchronous, which is what we have on the IPC Basic. So Synchronous basically means that in this case we have a duplex, so when pump 2 comes on, both pumps will be operating at the same speed. So let's go in here and change both to Synchronous and run both of them. So in order to get back into the Genie or Smart Setup, one easy way is go to Quick Menu and go to Startup Genie. So you can always go back to the Startup Genie. So multi-pump control, and we want to change this to Synchronous. So multi-master Synchronous. So I'm going to make that one change here and save it. Pump address 1, double check that. Okay, so now I'm going to go back. Now let's go to the lag pump here, same thing. Startup Genie. So multi-pump control. Let's change that to multi-master Synchronous. And we still have pump address 2. Let's go back, hit the status button. So we still have my lead lag. Now let's hit the auto on. So my lead pump is still on. comes on first. Again, we can see the frequency of 35, 36. Able to meet the demand. Set point of 30, so I'm going to open up the valve. So again, now the staging process will begin. Remember, staging was 95%, so 95% of 60 is 57. So when this hits 57, there's going to be a delay, and then pump 2 is going to come on. So it hit my 95%, there's a delay, now my pump 2 comes on. So notice the big difference here is when pump 2 came on, they are both operating at the same speed, frequency, and so that is synchronous. So the one addition in terms of your advanced platform is you don't always have to run in synchronous. There are other modes, for an example, like the multi-master, multi-control that we just showed you. So we talked about the additional options that you have for multi-pump operation. We showed 2 of them. One is synchronous, and again, when pump 2 comes on, in this case a duplex, both pumps synchronize and will operate at the same speed. The new option they have is multi-master, multi-control that we also showed, and in this case lag pump would vary as pump number 1 was full speed. And you have some other options as well. But I want to just kind of summarize some of the other features that we have with the advanced. One is multi-pump. Now you can go up to 4 pumps. So in the past with the basic you were limited to 2. With the advanced platform you can connect 4 pumps together in true lead lag fashion, and the wiring is much simpler now, and we're only talking about 2 wires between your MC0301 cards, and in this case your 5 and 7. With the B card, that is your RS485 ports, so it's only 2 wires compared to the wiring harness. Now, one thing to note, if you are using the optional A card here, the wiring is off the top and the terminals are different. If you are using this card with multi, you are going to connect 62 to 62 in the other pump or pumps, and then 63 to 63. So let's review some of the advantages of the IPC Advanced platform. We looked at several of those. One is wiring. So when you are operating a multi-pump, and keep in mind we can now go up to 4 pumps as opposed to 2 with the basic. So all you got to do is connect 2 wires between each of the drives, and what we showed you was with the B card, which was terminal 5 to 5 in your other pumps and 7 to 7 in all of your other pumps. So just 2 wires as opposed to the harness that we were used to with the basic platform. The other thing is the multi-pump options that we have. Basic gives you synchronous, and the one other option that we looked at was multi-master, multi-control. So there are other options. So you have additional multi-pump options with the advanced platform. And last but not least is some additional pump protection. So you get high system fault and low system fault, high pressure and low pressure faults, and also a pipe fill function.